two people were kissing. Meanwhile, the man's mother was watching everything. She seemed to be very excited about it and was very encouraging her son to continue kissing the woman. At that moment, she realizes that someone has arrived at the house and goes to the window to see who has arrived. She then realizes that the man's wife was arriving with her daughter and asks him to stop it. They begin to despair, and then the woman asks them what they were going to do to resolve the situation. She says she was tired of it and tells the man to sort it out soon, but the man tells his mother that he didn't know what he could do. She then tells her son not to worry as she would sort it out and then leaves. The man tells his mother that he was very appreciative of her help and that she was the best mother in the world for helping them sort it out. Meanwhile, the man's wife was coming home, and when she went to open the door, she saw that she was unable to open it as it was locked. She tries some more and calls for her husband, but no one answers her calls. She then goes to a part where she could see the second floor of the house and starts calling for her husband. She told her daughter not to worry, because soon her father would come to them to help them, but at that moment someone throws a bucket of water on top of them. The wife is very surprised by this and realizes that her husband's mother had done it. She then asks her daughter if she was okay, but the girl says she smelled really bad. The wife is very furious with that situation. She says she wanted to know what was going on there. She then grabs her blouse and starts drying her daughter's hair and says that they bond to solve that situation. The woman then says that her son's wife was already coming, and at that moment, the wife calls for the man. The woman opens the door, and then the man is surprised to see that his wife was wet and asks what had happened. The wife then says that she didn't know exactly what had happened, because when she was arriving, someone threw water on her. The woman says that her son's wife deserved that they had done that to her. The man said that his mother was right and that his wife should pay more attention to what she was doing on the street. The wife then tells her daughter to stay with her grandmother, but the woman says she was not the little girl's grandmother and tells the little girl not to be around her. The wife then asks the man to do something, as his mother couldn't talk to her like that, but the man tells her to go take a shower and he would solve the situation. The wife then asks who the woman was, and the man says she was his cousin. The woman said that this was her niece and that she had invited her to spend a few days there. The woman says that if the wife had a problem with that, she could talk to her, but the wife says that that house was hers and that if the woman wanted to invite someone to stay there, she should have talked to her first. The man then tells his wife to take a shower and that he would resolve that situation, and then the wife leaves along with her daughter. Later, the woman was saying that she didn't like the way the man's mother treated her, but the man said that the house was his, too. The woman then said that he was mistaken, because she was the one who worked in that house. The man then says that she was mistaken in thinking that what she did was work and that her loaves were not good. At this point, the man's mother arrives and asks what was going on. She tells them to stop screaming, because that way they would wake up her friend. The woman then asks why her mother-in-law is in her room and why she entered without first knocking on the door. The man then says that she couldn't talk that way to his mother, but his mother said that he didn't have to worry about it because she was already used to being treated that way. The woman then says that her husband's mother had come into her room and was trying to tell her what she could and could not do. The man then says that he had already told her to stop treating his mother that way. The mother falls asleep, then tells them that she is going to sleep and asks them to stop screaming as they need to sleep. Later, the woman enters their room and goes to her son. She carefully walks up to her son so that she doesn't make any noise and wake up his wife. She then tells her son that she had a surprise for him and he asks what she was talking about. The woman tells him to go to the other room and then he leaves, but first she puts a pillow in his place. They then go down the hall and the man asks his mother what the surprise was. She takes her son to the other room and shows him that the other woman was waiting for him. The man gets very excited about it and says that his mother was the best mother in the world. She thanks him for the compliment and says that he helped him with his needs. Later, the wife was asleep in his bed. At that moment, she wakes up, realizes that her mother-in-law was sleeping next to her, which makes her very surprised. She asks what she was doing there, and the man's mother says that her son had gone to sleep in her bed. She then asked why her husband had gone to sleep in another bed and was not sleeping in the same bed as her. The man's mother then says that she couldn't stand her son anymore. Tired like that, because he needed to rest. She said her wife made a lot of noise while she slept. He then says that now that he has woken up, she is going to make breakfast for his son and niece, so he leaves. Later, the wife was getting ready to go sell bread on the street, when the woman came up and asked her what she was doing. The wife says that she would soon be going to work, and then the woman says that no one liked the bread she sold. The wife then tells the woman that it was with the money she got from selling those loaves of bread that she supported that house. The woman then asks if the wife had finished cleaning the house and that she would not leave for work until she cleaned the house. She then tells her that the wife should clean her son's clothes and that she could go to work after she is done. The wife then says that she needed to go to work as she needed money to support the household, but the woman says that she didn't want to know that she should clean her son's clothes before she got mad at the wife. The wife is furious with the file, but says nothing and leaves. When the wife leaves, the woman says that she was going to ruin the buns that the wife was selling and then starts throwing sweetener on top of the buns. She then starts laughing at that situation and doesn't realize that the wife's daughter was watching everything. Later, the wife was walking down the street to sell her bread, when the other man walks up to her and greets her. She then asked how he was doing, and he said that he was working very hard and that he was very tired but wanted to buy the loaves. She said she couldn't sell it yet because she needed to buy napkins, but he said he didn't care about that. He said he was very hungry and that he didn't mind using napkins and that he could eat with his hands. She then hands the bread to another man and he hands the money to her. When the other man bites into the bread, he realizes that something was wrong and tells the woman that the bread was not with him. He says that the bread tasted very different, that it looked nothing like what the woman always sold, but she says that she didn't know what had happened. For that was the same spot she always sold. At this point, the little girl says she knew what had happened and tells her mother that her father's mother had put sweetener on the buns when her mother went to clean her father's clothes. Hearing this from his wife, he is very disappointed in the woman and then tells the other man that she would return the money to him and then solve the situation. Later, the man was kissing another woman and meanwhile, his mother was watching everything. At that moment, the wife arrives at the house and is surprised to see what was happening. She then asks the man and his mother what it was. They don't know what to say to the wife, and then the woman starts saying that the wife was really an idiot and that she didn't understand what was going on. The wife says that house was hers, but the woman says that she was stupid to think that she ran that house. The wife then asks for her daughter and her room, as she needs to talk to him about what was going on there. When the girl leaves, the wife tells the man that she wanted to know what was going on there, and then the man says that the wife should leave. The woman then told her wife that she should leave and never come back, because they would live happily together. The wife is very sad about the situation and then leaves to pack her things. The woman then tells the other woman to take those loaves of bread somewhere else, as she needs to talk to her son. The other woman then tells the woman that she was mistaken into thinking she would do what she was telling her and tells her to take the plans elsewhere as she wanted to be alone with the man. Hearing this, the woman doesn't quite understand what was happening, but she obeys the other woman and leaves. Some time passed, and the wife was selling her bread on the street. At that moment, the other man walks up to her and she asks if he would like to buy some loaves of bread, as she knew that he was her most loyal customer. The other man says that he would like to buy some loaves of bread and that he has a proposal for her. He then tells her that he had gotten a lot of money recently, that he now had a lot of stores. He says that, for this reason, he wanted to invest in the bread his wife made, as he liked her bread very much. That makes her very happy. She asks him if he would really do that and he says yes, because he liked her parents very much. He then asked her if she would accept the proposal he was making to her and she said yes, it was an excellent opportunity for her. She starts celebrating there until she gives the other man a hug and tells her daughter that their lives would improve a lot, because soon they would have their own store. The other Moment wishes his wife a lot of luck and she thanks him for everything. Sometime later, the other woman was sitting. When the woman goes up to her and asks what she was doing to the other woman, then says that she was resting, but soon the woman says that she should clean the house as she had a lot of work to be done. She said that there was a lot of work to be done in that house, but the other way she says that now is that they had no more money and that everything needed to be done in that house. She didn't want to stay there anymore, because she was only there to be by the man's side. She said she didn't want it anymore and that she was leaving. She said she would leave and never come back. When she leaves, the woman starts thinking about what she was going to do now, so I have an idea. She goes to her wife's house and knocks on the door. When the wife answers the door, she is surprised to see that the woman was there. The woman then says that his wife was very beautiful and that she was there to apologize for everything she had done to her. She said she didn't know why she did those things to her wife and says she was sorry for everything she did. She said she was sorry, very sorry for what she had done, and says she was there to ask her wife for help, because in her house things were not going well. The wife then says that the woman didn't have to worry about it, so she would go to the house and solve the problems. The woman asks if she would really do that and the wife says yes, that she would be going to the house soon. She said that everything would be settled when she went to the house, and then she said goodbye to the woman and closed the door. Later, she goes to the house with her daughter and knocks on the door. Quickly, the woman goes to the door to answer, but she has some difficulty opening the door as it was defective. When she manages to open the door, the wife and daughter enter the house and the woman says she missed her and her granddaughter. The man said that he also missed his daughter very much and that he was glad they were there. The wife then says that since they were having a lot of difficulties, she was there to solve their problems. They are overjoyed and soon the wife says she wants them to leave. She says that since they weren't able to solve the problems, she wanted them to leave, because that house was hers. At that moment, a police officer arrives and says that since they were appropriating a house that did not belong to them, he wanted the two of them to accompany him to the police station. The woman says only she would go, but the officer says the two should go along with him when they were leaving. The man said he wanted to talk to his wife, but she said she had nothing to talk to him about.